Welcome to the Football Yanks podcast. Yeah, we're American, but we're talking about soccer here. Hosts Derek, Ryan, and Luke are all football fanatics, tracking our fellow Yanks in the EPL and abroad. Enjoy today's episode.
Happy New Year from the Football Yanks. We're back after taking, I guess, what was, like a 2-week hiatus. We skipped one episode, and we've all rested up and we're ready to roll. Tackle. I guess a lot has happened. We may have to rethink this next year, Derek, and figure out how we have some coverage, because there's just so many fixtures. Matches, whatever, games.
Next year, you can probably find a couple moments of sobriety between the two of us to record during
the race. Exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of competing forces at this time of year, but man, there were a lot of matches, a lot of interesting stuff happened. My family listens to all of these episodes, and they gave me a ration.
What's it like having support from your family for the first time in your life?
Yeah, uncomfortable.
That's gotta feel weird.
Foreign. I don't know what other adjectives I could use to describe that, but they were giving me shit for us not recording during, I think it's probably like the highest match velocity period of the year. So yeah, I mean, that's probably not it wasn't the smartest move for like a podcast that's trying to get off the ground, but I don't know. Also got to take some time off, and we were traveling a lot. And I mean, I'm just worn down. What did you get into last night? You do anything or just chill, or
I think I was in bed by midnight. It was great.
Nice.
Living my best life.
Yeah, not me. We went to that Ravens game, clinched the 1 seed in the AFC. It's the wrong kind of football for this podcast, but yeah, I have Ravens season tickets, and it's very exciting time to be in Baltimore. Game. We're like obviously the best regular season team, but we've been here before, so the postseason's a different beast. It's a concept that doesn't really exist in soccer. Like the Ravens would be effectively lifting the trophy if this was the EPL, but yeah, we'll see. So Derek and I will be in Park City when the Ravens play again, and we'll also have to be catching the soccer fixtures. Or no, they play next weekend, and then the playoff game will be while we're in Park City. But we will be recording then. And there's obviously no Luke today. He's still gallivanting around California. He's fancy.
People can figure it out on their own when they don't hear him screaming in the first 5 minutes. He's with us in spirit.
Yeah, and I'm watching his dog. His dog is a sweetheart, man. He just like chills. It's a really smart dog. It's just like one of the most well-behaved dogs I've ever been around.
This is the one that just sits on the couch and like veggies out right at your place, right?
I mean, he does. He needs to be exercised like any dog does. But he for the most part he'll just chill and is a joy to watch, honestly. So yeah, it's been cool to chill out with him, go on some walks. And Luke should be back next week, assuming his work isn't crazy, which it's kind of prone to be lately. So anyway, more Luke next week. What do we want to talk? I guess we could talk about the game we just watched. I was looking at the fixtures, and I forgot there's we aren't even going to be able to remark on West Ham plays tomorrow. Did you realize that West Ham Brighton play tomorrow at 2:30? And I think that wraps it up before there's a break. I don't think there are fixtures again for there's a week off or something.
I forgot that wasn't until tomorrow. In my head yesterday, I thought there were 2 today because it wouldn't have made any sense to have one tomorrow. But there we are.
Yeah, they have it tomorrow, and then the next match is Chelsea-Fulham on Saturday the 13th, day after my birthday. 7 a.m. Chelsea keeps getting slotted in the very early slots because we're terrible. So there's
could just stay up.
No prime time for Chelsea.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about the Liverpool-Newcastle match. What do you think?
I like that you texted me Anthony Taylor putting on a demo.
Yeah.
And so you can do the lead in.
And then wrote it on the show notes. All right. So I hate Anthony Taylor. I don't know if.
Well, I do now too. And I'll tell you why after you go ahead.
I'll be curious what about that game converted you. Anthony Taylor, I think, statistically is the worst ref in the league. Out of the pool of refs, he's terrible. He was actually demoted for a game this season, and then I've seen him working, or he's been mentioned as working VAR quite a lot since then. This is, I could be incorrect because I don't pay attention to the refs that much, other than I know when this fucking confused bald fuck is involved with a match, because I just hate him so much. But yeah, I mean, some shocking stuff, at least in the first half. And then, I mean, it's just decision making is really bad. And the thing that really got to me about Taylor in this match was that he was praised by the announcers. They said that he's the best of the best, or something like that, which is insane that they would think that.
Yeah,
now, I think
like
there are different announcers between like what the UK gets and what we get. So you guys we do have like a UK audience, and so you'll have to take my word for it. They actually said that Anthony Taylor was
since
the best
we've started
on offer.
this, I have noticed, I've paid more attention to what the commentators say, because I guess, to be honest, I just didn't pay attention to anything they were saying before. And now it's like they have all these like hot takes, like Anthony Taylor is a good ref, or then they'll pivot to like, oh, Anthony Robinson's playing terribly, and it's like they just throw this shit out there that's so myopic, it seems at times, and not really supported by anything that we're seeing. In this case, Anthony Taylor, let the game kind of get out of hand there at the end of the second half, or the end of the first half, it seemed like, right? And then what set me over the edge was, I don't know if you had the same perception I did, but in real time, it looked like Jota, on the PK that was awarded for the foul on him, it looked like he tripped himself in real time when I was watching it. I was like, did he just like hit a blade of grass? Like, what the hell is that? And the reason it looked like that is because it was a fucking dive. Because somebody brushed his fucking heel. He planted the foot successfully again. He wasn't tripped, and then threw himself. And it didn't even go to like having Anthony Taylor would take another look at it. Probably because they were like, well, Anthony Taylor's incompetent. No point in having him take another look at it.
He's not going to get this
PK.
right anyway.
Yeah, he's going to fuck it up anyway. So like Jota and gets dunked on by I think that was a center back or somebody that scored on the other end. He was doing his best impression of pretending to defend or something, and then gets rewarded for just throwing himself to the ground when he had an open goal he could have turned and shot at.
Yeah. You really hate Jota too. I forgot about that. I agree with your assessment of what happened. How does the rule work? So Luke hates this, but I do give the benefit of the doubt to refs for making an on the field call that will allow it to be reviewed. And I don't know if that's like, if he lets that play, like, yeah. So obviously if he makes no call there, then there is no review because he just let the play on. No, they can review it. They have gone back and reviewed stuff like that, and then so never mind. I give no charity to Anthony Taylor, but I do, like, in some cases like that. I like if a ref calls a foul, like, so that it gets sent to being reviewed, I give them some benefit of the doubt there. I would rather the right call be made than have the ref's poor calling influence the game. But yeah, I was shocked that they awarded that. Didn't look like much of a foul to me. Looked like Jota overplayed the ball to try to round the keeper. The keeper pulled back, and Jota's, like, the heel of his foot sort of brushed against the keeper. And I think the minute he felt contact and saw how far away he had, like, how heavy his touch was, he just went to ground to try to draw the foul, and he succeeded. Hard to say that had a huge impact on this game. Like, this game was
true.
Newcastle, they have issues.
What was the final possession number in this game? It was like 66-33 at one point.
Yeah, 63-36 was the final possession statistic.
They were up against it the whole game. I always come back to, I know I harp on this, but to me, this is the difference, is like Newcastle is going to struggle in games where their midfield can't assert itself, and against a great Liverpool midfield, like, they just got run around, and Newcastle did well to kind of stay in it, getting some goals back, but that was more shitty defending than anything else, I would say.
Yeah.
Like, was Van Dijk even trying to, like, defend that goal by Isak? Like, or is he just, like, so fucking, like, tired or old, or he just doesn't, like, or he doesn't like playing next to Joe Gomez because it's like playing with a single center back, or, like, I don't know what his problem is.
What? I'm trying to remember. I wish I had he
slotted it through, and like Van Dijk's the one who played him on side, and then he trots over there, and like normally you'd see like somebody try to stick a foot out or like cut off but he just he gave him the angle to the near post and like expected Alisson to save it, I guess, which maybe that's how you play it if you're playing in front of Alisson, right? But I don't know. It just seemed like he didn't get close enough for the ball there, and he could have.
Yeah, Isak is such a good finisher.
Yeah, definitely a world class goal.
If he gets a chance, like, dude, the what's his name? Who's the keeper for Dubravka, I think is his name.
Yeah.
What a game that, like, what were the, I guess we have it here. So
there were a lot of blocked shots too, but he did have a great game.
Total shots 34. All right, so first of all, the score and score of this game was Liverpool 4, Newcastle 2. Newcastle had no business getting 2 goals. There were
30. I didn't even realize that there were 34 shots.
34. Liverpool took 34 shots too.
No wonder Klopp was incensed that he only won this 4-2.
Yeah, it was. I mean, this was an ugly game. There was some stat they put on the screen that was like, these numbers are incorrect, but directionally true. Like, it was like Liverpool had 80 touches in the opponent's box and Newcastle had 5 or something like that. It wasn't that dramatic, but like it may as well have been.
That's why the shot generation was what it is. Like, and that was the difference, is like it was even more disparate in the possession, because when Liverpool had possession, they created shots off of it.
Yeah. Why did you put Jota defending?
Well, my favorite part was that he got dunked on for that second goal by Newcastle on the corner kick.
Yeah.
And then came down and threw himself into the 18 to get a PK.
That was a great header on the corner kick. Who was that? That was
I always come back,
Botman.
like, if you're in the box, you have to try and challenge the ball. Like, you got to at least throw the guy off. Like, Jota was just rooted there. Literally got dunked on, which isn't hard because he's 5'0", like Harvey Elliott, and shouldn't be in the box to begin with. But yeah, just got absolutely blasted. Like, I actually, now that I think about it, that'd be a good picture to get blown up into a poster, is just that defender, like, just putting his crotch into Yoda's face and dunking on him.
Yeah, your hatred of Jota.
Had to get that in there.
Like, no limit to it.
Speaking of my hatred, does Livramento sound like the name of, like, some kind of obscure type of olive that, like, maybe, like, I don't eat olives, but that sounds like a Livramento olive or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, what is this? He's English, right? He came from the Chelsea Academy. What did you think of his play in this game?
The one, I'm trying to think of the play. One of his defending on the one play looked really poor. I don't even remember. I remember him standing out as not having a good defensive game. Of course, he got a decent rating this game.
Yeah, I thought he looked good. I hadn't looked at the rating.
Maybe
7.
It was like that defense in general. Like the couple, like they got shredded a couple times, and like 2 of those goals were passes back to the middle, and so, like, I don't know. You would hope, like, you get in front of, like, you'd be a little bit closer to challenging one of those, if not both. But
if you had to guess, so again, this game ended 4-2. If you had to guess the expected goal generated by Liverpool in this match, what would you say?
8.5.
You're a little over, but it was 7.5.
Yeah,
Dubravka had a game. Like he kept this from being an absolute slaughter. So, like, fair play to him. Mohamed Salah alone generated 2.74 xG. Although he had two PKs, one of which he did not finish.
Yeah, what do you make of his? He's 30 for 37 at this point.
What do I make of his ability to take PKs?
His PK percentage.
I mean that's good, right? What's a normal PK percentage?
I don't know. For a top tier Premier League team, I want to say it's closer to like 80 or 85%. I mean, maybe that's close enough. But it seems like he's missed a couple more recently. Maybe
he made his last 5. They said so. That's 81%. Is that? Yeah. I mean, I guess he's fine. I mean, he's the guy they want scoring goals and feeling good, and vibing. So I mean,
switch it anyways, right?
Yeah. So Newcastle generated 0.7, so they outperformed their XG. It's probably pretty rare, if I had to guess, that. Did I say Newcastle or Liverpool? I'm fucking brain dead today.
I think you said Newcastle. But
okay, good. Anyway, it's probably pretty rare that Liverpool underperforms their XG.
But here's an interesting.
But they do have Darwin Núñez.
Yeah. So okay, you can't. I only have so many punchlines here. If you had to guess which player had 8 shots in no goals.
Yeah.
Who might that be?
Yeah. Bruh. Yeah. It's I don't know what's going on with that guy. He looks like he has.
I didn't do fucking shit. I didn't make shit.
Yeah, he looks like he's got the total package. He just doesn't finish most of the time. But the last time they played Newcastle, he subbed on and bagged 2 goals down a man, and single-handedly won them the match, right?
Yeah, that was a crazy game. But yeah, I guess a little bit of what bores me sometimes in watching some of these games. I'll say particularly like Liverpool and Arsenal is the lack of a true high performing striker. And Isak to me is a much better striker, even outside of current form than Darwin Nunez or Gabriel Jesus as examples. And as good as these teams play, like and dominate midfield, etc., like you can see some of these games where there's crazy shot counts and then nothing goes in, which is something that we're used to as Chelsea fans, but it's a little bit more.
It's uncomfortable when you see it from another team,
right? That seems out of place, but
because it's the only thing we have going for us is our consistent ability to underperform XG.
Right.
So,
and I can shit on Nicholas Jackson, but like in fairness to Nicholas Jackson, you got Darwin Nunez and Gabriel Jesus out there not doing like a whole lot more.
Yeah. What are the EPL goal leaders? You guys will notice that it won't sound like a member of our crew has their mic attached directly to a keyboard because Luke isn't here today. Nico Jackson's still in the top 10 EP. Have you ever listened to so we will start streaming here at some point soon. We now have like pretty high quality webcams. So that's going to be something we add here soon. We'll start streaming the podcast and there will be a video element. But I am excited to see what the fuck is going on in Luke's house.
Is he typing on the keyboard or just banging us?
Dude, I don't know what is happening.
It's probably the cats just like jumping on the desk.
Yeah, there's just like things falling over. He has the world's squeakiest chair. He never sits still. He must
seen
have
him, and that fits with Luke in real life, right? Like, he's just all over the goddamn place. Like he's he was a kid in our generation that wasn't diagnosed with the ADHD. So there it is.
Yeah, it's so like my hope is that whatever is going on there is so entertaining that I don't have to edit the audio. Like I get tired of editing the audio. Like I'm hoping I could just leave it in because there's an accompanying video to go with it. So that's my cheat code. Yeah. So Nico Jackson has 7 goals. Haaland has 14. Salah has 14. So those are your leaders. Cole Palmer has 8. That's crazy. Chelsea sucks. And we have two goal scorers in the top 10.
Well, it's because the only 2 scoring goals for us. So
yeah. I mean, Madueke. Let's talk about Chelsea. So Chelsea.
Madueke's been injured for 3 months or so, right?
I don't know. That's something like maybe we should talk about that. But Chelsea 3, Luton 2. I'll pull this up. And so Cole Palmer, man of the match. I think he had 2 goals and an assist, if I remember right. He sure did.
City's boy is Chelsea's man!
This guy is the real deal. Like, he is that finish for both
of
finishes
them were
were
class
awesome.
goals. Yeah.
So good. But that second one, the composure and the audacity, I'm so gassed on Cole Palmer. And he did the cold Palmer celebration, at least after the second goal. I don't remember the first goal.
What's the cold Palmer celebration?
He rubs his hands up and down his arms, like crosses his arms like he's shivering.
He's
Yeah,
got it.
Yeah. So Yeah, let's look at this.
He probably grew up somewhere where they didn't have a lot of heating oil, so he's
Manchester, right?
oh well, yeah, they can't afford heat there.
Yeah. Interestingly, so yeah, Madwecki on Who Scored has the highest match rating at 8.9. Cole Palmer scored 2 goals and had an assist, and Madwecki got a higher match rating on Who Scored anyway. Madwecki's goal was a banger. I don't even know how he scored that or why he took the shot, but I watch him score goals like that for the under 21s, England under 21s, all the time. So it was cool to see it translate at the highest level and him sort of have the confidence to take that. Now you said he was injured. I think that was true for a while, but then there was also this story about how he went out partying when he should have been recovering from injury or something, and video leaked of him like at a club. And then like he's just kind of been in the doghouse, I think, with Poch, and like because he's been in the match day squad and just sat there and been unused for
last couple weeks
for a while. Yeah. So and he kind of said, like, he didn't say that exactly, but in the post-match interview, he was like, yeah, this campaign hasn't gone how I wanted it to, but like, I'm hoping I can show, what I have to offer.
I mean, he needs to be out there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it should be Palmer, Nkuku, and Madueke, right?
Yeah, I could get behind that. Sterling, I don't think we ended up commentating on this. Who did they play?
Luton.
Oh no, it was Wolves, dude. Sterling, we were like 3 on goal or something like that, and Sterling took the shot.
Yeah, I think you were in the air, right?
Yes, I was.
Did you see that live?
I did not. I couldn't stream it on the plane.
That was the text where I sent to you and Luke, and I said,
you were like, "What the fuck am I watching?"
You can have my.
That's right.
I said, I forget what I gave to Sterling, but
woo!
Yeah, he could have my mic or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
I was ready for they be buried after that one.
That was
even better. There's like there's a clip of him from an interview. I don't think it was this season necessarily, but talking about like, oh, if you're in on goal and you have a player alongside you, you always want to square the ball. And like, he's explaining that like, that's what you have to do in a situation like that. And this time he had 2 guys and just blasts it right at the goalkeeper.
Crazy. Now, like that's like what you get with him. And it's been part of the give and take of having Raheem Sterling on this team for the last 2 seasons is he has that like belief in himself, and the audacity to just try to take everything on himself. And like, sometimes it works for him, but yeah, like his decision making and that like selfishness, or I guess I should say that level of selfishness and not having the decision making to know when you have to turn that off and,
for me,
play the right ball. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like you need people on the team who have the belief in themselves to like, dribble, try to take on, like take a defender out of the game by taking them on with a dribble. And you need players taking shots, and like, if everybody's being selfless, then like, but generally you want that to be your striker who's like, just like firing for effect basically. But yeah, that was bad. And I think I said after I landed and watched it, I was like, well, Poch has got to bench this guy. Like, there's no way you can see that happen and not bench him. And he did. He got benched. He didn't come into the game. And Madueke is going to make a problem for him because Madueke looked really positive. He was effectively having to be double teamed as this dude who like hasn't seen a game really this season. And then
he's a
like,
real problem out there.
Yeah. And we don't have that. We don't have that like that smoothness, dribbling style player in what has been our normal 11 this season.
No, I do think Nkuku brings some of that to the table as well. But yeah, I mean, that's what's been missing to a large extent.
So Nkuku came on, subbed on for Broja, and then to me, now like these systems Poch plays and like most high level managers, they play like fairly fluidly, like players kind of come in and out of position. But to me, it looked like Nkuku spent most of the time as a 9 once he was on the pitch. Versus the other games he's played, it felt like he was dropping deeper and conducting play more the way a 10, like a shadow striker or something like that, would play behind a 9. Like I think Jackson was playing in front of him in the other matches that we've seen him in. And Nkuku, to me, did not look... And I've been saying this, I think, for weeks, that like people think of Nkuku as an option for a 9 for Chelsea, and I don't think that is anywhere near his strength because he can take people on, he can break. Like you said, it's like he has eyes in the back of his head. That pass he made to Gusto.
And that's the piece for me, the interplay, right, with the other 3 or the other 2 there, or the other 3, depending on how you look at it, right? Like he plays so well off of people, and when you say, frankly, I think that's a differentiation when you look at like a Liverpool attack versus I don't know, frankly, what Chelsea was most of this season, right? It's just having somebody that can play that quick 1-2 to break somebody through, and just not having somebody that could do that outside of... Now we've got a couple guys up there, but yeah, he's definitely... It takes him a little bit of that away from him if you're just having him lead the line.
Yeah. Now, the issue is you've got... So Madueke plays off the right. Palmer can play as a 10 or off the right. He is, in my opinion, better out wide. Although he played, I think, mostly as a 10 in this match and got 2 goals and an assist. So, what do I know? And then what we've seen is, I think, for the most part, is Sterling on the left. Yeah, the left flank. Jackson was lined up out there. Our other option is Mudryk, who I think is he's starting to come around, and he offers something very different. Like he's just like pure strength, explosiveness, athleticism, right? So, I don't hate Mudryk being out there, but yeah, like Madueke and Palmer out on the right, like what a luxury to have those two as your options there. And then once everyone's healthy, you've got Nkuku, who could play at the 9, maybe, but I think his best position is as a 10. You've got Chukwuemeka, who I still think is phenomenal. You can play Palmer there. So like really the left flank is where we're sort of weakest, right? It like if we're benching Sterling, then it's kind of just it's Jackson or Mudryk. Jackson is gonna go to the AFCON for Senegal. So, and he's played a lot of minutes for us. He's got to be one of them.
And we say bye-bye.
Yeah. That's Erling Haaland, worried that he's going to lose his golden boot to Nico Jackson if he doesn't.
Yeah.
No,
yeah, you're right. Have you seen? Yeah, he's been posting. He's been sweating that.
Yeah. We should talk about the game a little bit though. So, Chelsea went up 3-0.
Yep.
3-0, I should say.
Yep.
Yeah, and then did their best to let Luton back into this match. Doughty was on one. At first, he was like kind of being nullified by us. And then it was just like cross after cross, like he was just dialing them up. And I think you pointed this out. I would debate with you a bit over who was at fault, but there was I don't remember the game, but you were like, you'd think for 90 million or whatever that Caicedo would go and cover the back post. I think that the issue with that play was Levi Colwill.
Both of them misplayed it, in fairness.
Yeah, but Colwill he has been playing at left back, and it's out of position for him. Like we're just playing him there. I hope that we're playing him there because of our injury crisis. But that was his to cover. He had cheated into the center, which is going to be like his instinct, right? Because he generally is a CB, and that's where I'd like to see him played eventually once we're all healthy. But that is a huge. If I'm any team coming to play Chelsea, I am just driving it up the wing and crossing it in, because we are out, like devoid of any answers to a far post cross.
Yeah, the far post is like wide fucking open.
Yeah, it is.
It's really frustrating in a game where you're up 3-0 or 3-1, even more so, right? Because as soon as you give up, like I can understand, like, oh, we want to keep sticking to our formation at 3-0, like fine. Then you give up one, like, okay, maybe now we should move closer to a 5-back. Instead, Pochettino waits for, oh, lo and behold, nobody's covering the back post. We give up a goal, now it's 3-2. Oh, I think we should shift to a back 5 now. Like, sure, we should, because we're protecting the lead, but like maybe you should coach them to like cover the back post in the first place. And this time it was Cole Palmer, and like granted, like that's not like his main area of responsibility, but like somebody's got to coach him, or be like there's got to be enough individual leadership or something to know like, oh shit, like Caldwell's out of position again, or whoever the hell it was, and like I need to cover this guy because he's wide open. But Caicedo and then Palmer have done that in the last two in recent memory, and it's just, it's not acceptable for a team that thinks it's going to challenge for the top 4 next season.
Yeah, that has to be ironed out at some point. So should mention that the transfer window is officially open.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, as of today. So there will be transfer business to discuss, and maybe that's something there will probably, especially with this down week coming up, there will probably be business that happens that we can cover. And maybe we could like talk about areas of concern for teams that they might try to address in this window. But Newcastle for sure, and Chelsea are teams that are probably going to try to be active in this window. Newcastle is depleted with injuries, and there's also, if you want to look around online, there's some like team culture issues that are being strongly rumored about this team, and a certain player who didn't feature today. So I'll leave it at that, so that I can say that I was right if if it pans out. I hope I'm wrong, but they have issues that need to be addressed, and then Chelsea are going to be active because they're still I think that they've said that coming into this window they won't be as active. I mean, they can't possibly be as active as they have been since the takeover, but they're going to have
I saw today is that they were not going to bring in a lot of players, which would seem to indicate to me that they're saying they're not trying to be active.
So what I read was that they have for the time being, they have a 2 out, 1 in policy, because they still have a bloated squad and they still need to move players on, like Maatsen. If they're going to try to address their number 9 problem, then that's the end of the line for Broja. I do think that Petrovic is like I think that Sanchez has a hard time coming back into this team because of how Petrovic has been playing. He's not like a world beater, but he is keeping us in games. He kept us, like, he was worth a goal in this game with some of the saves that he made. And so, like, we've got a pretty, like, decent trio of keepers. But yeah, the rumors are that Chelsea are going to go in for a center back and a striker are their like top two things, because Thiago Silva will, like, they're not going to renew him. So they're looking to backfill him.
Yeah, I mean, it couldn't be any more crystal clear, could it? Like, where we need to reinforce those two positions. So
yep. Yeah, we don't need midfielders. We don't need attacking mids. We need this team to gel. We need to put some of these injuries behind us and kind of see where we're at. But yeah, center back and like the 9 for me. Like, it's a team that consistently generates outplays their opponents in expected goals, but there's no one to finish the shots. Like, Nico Jackson can only do so much, so
yeah, fair play there.
Ta-da! Yeah. So all right, we should move on. I threw the Tottenham game on here because I watched all of it. I think Luke has made the comment that I probably watch more Spurs than he does. And there might be some truth to that. It's like a self-loathing.
We've got to have something to live for as Chelsea fans. Right?
Yeah.
So watching them drop one,
yeah,
there is worth it.
What I wanted to say about this match is that Tottenham, I ended up turning it off and putting, I think I put, what else was on at this? I think I might have watched
Arsenal and who was Arsenal? Whoever Arsenal lost to, right?
Fulham, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
The Arsenal Fulham game.
So I must have switched over to that because it felt like it was only a matter of time. Like, Bournemouth was thoroughly outplaying Tottenham. So Tottenham got an early goal from what's his name?
Well, and let's not forget, this is coming off of our previously until now uncovered thrumping of Tottenham by Brighton 4-2 on the 28th.
Yes, yeah, we didn't cover that. Yeah, two teams that Chelsea have beaten this season.
Not sure how that applies here, but
yep, just
good to get that in.
Just throwing it out there. Luke's not even here, and I'm just gonna let him rip. But yeah, I mean, I objectively thought that Bournemouth was outplaying Tottenham for the vast majority of this match, and I mean, they had 24 shots to Tottenham's 12. Possession was about even. Just Bournemouth looked the more threatening team. I flipped over and then I flipped back, and I think it was like 3-0. So I didn't see any of the goals that I guess like the Butcher of North London got one, and Richarlison got one. Richarlison is in pretty good form all of a sudden. Tottenham 3, Bournemouth 1, by the way, was the final score of this one. But anyway, I still think Tottenham are looking pretty vulnerable right now, and it's definitely part the injury issues and part like maybe the shock and awe of Ange ball is wearing off. Like, teams are learning how to play through it. I don't know. It'll be interesting when Madison comes back because he's such a key component. But Bentancur was back in this game and played decent, got subbed. He can't go full 90 yet. And then the other thing I wanted to point out, Alex Scott subbed on and scored Bournemouth's goal. Alex Scott is a player to watch for sure. He is a high ceiling young talent that Bournemouth and part of their shopping spree brought him in this season. So they got their new sugar daddy, and Alex Scott came in. I forget where he came from.
Yeah, that acquisition did not register for me, nor did the substitution. But I know you follow Bournemouth signings a lot more closely than I.
They're
did,
my team.
That's yeah. So I mean, yeah, it's interesting to see that pay dividends here. And to me, Tottenham's a little bit like is another in the category of like Liverpool and
Bristol.
Arsenal, where, like,
that's where he came from. Yeah.
I just feel like there's an element of the game missing from not having a better striker. Like, I don't think Richarlison's it. And
yeah,
I think he scores a lot of sitters and like he's in okay form overall, but like his accuracy in finishing just isn't that great. Yeah, and even Son missed a almost kind of a sitter in this one too, but
yeah.
I don't know. To me, that's a position of weakness, but I don't think they're going to give up the EBITDA to go and spend more money on wages.
That club's a piece of shit.
Yeah,
so
they're going to make a lot of money on concerts this summer. So
yeah, they got to think about that. They got to preserve the turf for Taylor Swift or whatever.
Yeah,
so.
Richarlison's not covering a lot of ground. So
Yeah, so Alex Scott, it was exciting to see him come in and get a goal. I think he's going to cook for that team. He's unfortunately had some injuries of late, but what else? Obviously, Tottenham has some defensive issues that like Van de Ven coming back will help with. I say this, I'm trying to be objective here. I'm obviously not objective when it comes to Tottenham, but without Vicario this season, I truly think that Tottenham would be right mid-table with us. That guy is an outstanding keeper. He is... I'll have to, maybe with the week off, that's something I'll do, is try to come up with some way to determine how, I guess the difference between expected goals and goals scored. I know there are statistics around goalies and like how many goals they've been good for, like saving type thing. So that'd be interesting to look at for me, just like how many goals he's been worth for that team. But yeah,
especially for this patched together defense, like you said.
Yeah.
So yeah, out of the two games that were going on simultaneously, I would have much assumed this would have been the upset surprise between the two, rather than Fulham beating down Arsenal 2-1.
Yeah. So Fulham 2, Arsenal 1. It was a shocker, really. Chelsea play Fulham next, and I'm not looking forward to it. Like what did we beat them? Like 3-1 earlier in the season, something like that.
That sounds right. Yeah, that was very early, right? We were looking okay.
Mudryk got a goal. That was the game, I think, where Colwill played the ball to Mudryk. He took it off his chest and scored, and then I think Broja got a goal. Like he chased the keeper down and like. The keeper basically like played it off Broja into the net. I think that was all Fulham, but anyway, they are looking good. Like Iwobi has been playing well for them. Willian looks like, I don't know. Willian, Iwobi, Jimenez looks dangerous as hell. Polina, like this team is like really gelling and playing well. And Jedi Robinson, I think, is I texted you and said that I think he has been probably the most consistent U.S. international in terms of their play. Like some of the other ones have been like stop-start and have had like moments of brilliance. Pulisic has had, like we've talked about it, he's had a pretty great season. But he also, he's got a hamstring injury. I don't know if he's back from that. He might be. And I think he's the second leading goal scorer on Milan behind Giroud right now. But anyway, Robinson, I think, is just having a huge year.
It looks like he's poised to possibly step up a level in terms of team next season too, based on the transfer rumors. So that'll be interesting.
Who are you? I haven't seen that. Who are you?
I think he's been strongly linked to Liverpool.
Oh man, that would be huge for him to.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. It'd be good for him. I guess I'd be happy to see him go to a bigger club, I guess. I don't know if you saw this, but his physicality's been rubbing off on Leno even as well. Leno giving it to the ball boy pretty good. Not sure. That's kind of more of a Eden Hazard type look that I hadn't seen in a while. But why not? Why not just give it to everybody that's on the pitch, right?
Agreed. But yeah, I mean, frankly, this is the type of game that you can't be losing. No disrespect to Fulham. I just said a lot of very positive things about them. But Arsenal is, like, to a lot of people's minds coming into this season, they were the title favorite. And let's see the table.
Yeah,
Liverpool...
I mean, to that point, right? Like, fine if you don't think Nketiah is... or Jesus or world-class strikers, which they're not. But you've still got Saka, Martinelli, Rice, Odegaard, right? Havertz, who's supposed to be good. I mean, they paid a lot of money for him at one point, right? You had Trossard coming on. Just a lot of firepower there to them, just putting up a goal against a team that hasn't been that much of a powerhouse outside of Anthony Robinson defensively. Every time I look at that, the contrast between the left side and the right side of Fulham's defense is shocking to me every game. Like, I have to go and look at the lineup to see like who the hell's supposed to be out there, because it seems like somebody's getting blown by or out of position, and like, it's pretty surprising. Like, it seemed like Martinelli was able to get down the line there, but not getting a result out of it for Arsenal is pretty bad.
Yeah. And again, like it's the kind of match that you have to win these to win the title. So Arsenal dropped to 4th as a result of this. Right.
Do you think Arteta will start flipping a coin again for which goalkeeper he wants to start?
I don't think so. I think
Raya seems fine. I don't think he's the problem.
I also don't think he's the solution. Like, if like Ramsdale was fine. Like,
they created a problem.
They've created a problem at goalie. Raya, again, isn't even signed to Arsenal. He's on loan. Yeah. Like, this is so bizarre, what they're doing there. I don't know, man. Arteta's Luke said this about Pep. We didn't put them on the notes, I don't think, but naturally Man City beat Sheffield 2-0. De Bruyne returned, but Luke, he said that Pep has like brain constipation or mind constipation or something. Like, Arteta's got a bit of that, man. Like, whatever he's doing here. Saliba, like, notably had a pretty rough game, I thought, for being one of probably the best, to my mind, one of the best young defenders in the league. A little bit rough. And, I don't know. I don't have much else to say here. Jedi is cooking this season. Looks really, really good. And yeah, I mean, the EPL is, maybe this is where I could have put this on any number of, I guess the Wolves match you wanted to, I didn't watch Wolves Everton. I think it might be the only match I didn't watch, just because it didn't look competitive. I didn't watch it live. And
I think that's probably the takeaway here, right? Is they put up 3. Everton really couldn't do anything against them. Who haven't scored in this one?
I saw that
Dawson, Kuna, and Kilman. Yeah, I mean, coming from all angles, I guess. But yeah, Everton's
Neto was back. Yeah,
pretty bad shape. 1 point ahead of Luton at this point.
Who is Everton?
Yeah.
Yeah. With the 10-point deduction. I still think they'll be fine. But yeah, well, let's look at because I didn't watch this. So possession went to Wolves. So it was Wolves 3, Everton 0. Total shots to Wolves, possession. Yeah, I mean, looks like Wolves just outplayed them.
Yeah,
from
it wasn't really a close game.
Yeah, I mean, Everton, the stats that like a Dyche team is gonna win in, like tackles and aerials won, like Wolves didn't outperform them there, but like score sheet and attacking stats and stuff like that, it looks like a fairly comprehensive victory. So yeah, anyway, where I was going with this is the EPL, like there's so much parity in the EPL right now. It's crazy. Like City is in 3rd with a game in hand. So like, say they win that and they're in 2nd. They're they're a point ahead of Villa and 2 points behind Liverpool. And that's a team that is like not felt like it's been in very good form, but has been doing enough. Like Tottenham is 6 points from the top in 5th place. Like it really is like not anybody's game, but like a whole lot can happen. Half the season is left. And so, yeah, I mean, it's great. Like at this time of year, a lot of times you have a team that is just starting to run away with it. It wasn't that way last season. There were 2 teams effectively that were starting to run away. It feels much
different than last year, though, right? Where it was 2 teams. This year feels much more open. You could pick 3 or 4 different teams to say we think they're going to come out on top.
Yeah, Chelsea, as poor as they have been, they've now won 3 of their last 5. They are 1 point behind Newcastle, 2 points behind Brighton, 3 points behind United. And, like they're in a cup semifinal here soon.
I was looking at it this week and I'm thinking of, as pessimistic as I've been, like the goal post should be 6th place at this point for Chelsea. And that's with 3 good teams in front of them and Manchester United.
Yeah. Oh, we don't really get a week off. Their FA Cup matches on Saturday, Jan 6th.
Are any of those watchable? I feel like I saw one of them come up on my ESPN list, and I
don't know.
Didn't recognize the team or didn't care about
Chelsea's playing Preston. So that'll be.
Is that an English club?
Yeah,
Preston North End. Yeah, with a name like North End, yes, it must be. Okay, yeah. Preston North End. Fuck is that? All right.
You need to play some Football Manager, man.
Yeah. Can you tell? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so then they play on, what am I looking at here? Preston, and then they have the first, that's right, it's like a 2-leg Carabao Cup now. So they'll play Middlesbrough away and at home. So the first leg will be January 9th. Really important, really, really important that Chelsea compete in that. They're probably going to play Liverpool in the final. And I'm just hoping that Liverpool have so much going on that they, like, I don't know, are tired.
It's conceivable that they rest starters for that. I mean, Klopp has done shit like that before, and he's in the thick of it for the Premier League hunt.
Yep. So, yeah, that could be huge for Chelsea. That would secure Europe soccer for Chelsea and the income that comes with that, which they obviously need right now. But yeah, so what do we have left to cover? We talked about Arsenal. Oh, we haven't talked about United.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't forget about these shitbirds.
Well, let's talk about Crystal Palace real quick. The comment you put here. So Crystal Palace beat Brentford 3-1. And the comment that you put here is that Palace is a different club with Elise, I think is how you say his name.
Yeah, he's French. Elise, yeah.
Yeah. He's great. He's fantastic. So the interesting conversation around him is he was Chelsea's first choice for that position. Like when they were trying to make their final acquisition.
It turns out we were his last choice for where we wanted to play this season.
Yeah. I'd still be curious what happened there, honestly. Dude, Elise with a 10?
Yeah.
God damn. I haven't seen that this season. I'm sure it's happened, but I haven't seen that.
It's just
you got a perfect 10.
You've got it's like in FIFA, you got to get the right combo, right? So he won a tackle, he had an aerial, and he had 2 goals. So you got to pad all the categories. And get the 10.
Anyway, so we ended up with Cole Palmer instead. Who, like,
True.
If you could, like, which of the two do you roll with? Like if you could have undone the Palmer trade and had Elise, they both are phenomenal players.
At the time, I would have said Elise. I guess that's obvious, right? I guess that's not really saying anything. I still feel like Palmer does a little bit different stuff in terms of working a little bit more inside, and I think that it still is going to benefit us a little bit more, because I think that allows you to move in Kuku and Madueke and others to other spots, maybe a little bit wider.
Yeah. And Chelsea beat Palace. That's right. Yeah. They beat Palace in the chunk of matches that we didn't cover, but Elise scored in that match. And Chelsea did not look great in that match. It was... I'm actually curious now. Okay. I was waiting. I thought Chelsea looked so poor against Palace that it was possible that the collective average match rating for Palace would be higher than Chelsea. But it's very close, but that's not the case. Yeah. So anyway, Mudryk got a goal. I forgot about that. Man, we missed a lot by not covering games during the holidays. We take 1 week off and we missed 3 games for every team, man. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Elise is he's the truth. I would have been happy with him at Chelsea. I'm very happy with Cole Palmer. Elise's French.
Yeah.
So there's that to factor in, if we're ever playing, in a Europe competition again, then at some point having homegrown players will factor into our ability to set a squad. And true. I think, oh no, he plays for the France under 21s, but he was born in London. Okay. Interesting. So yeah, I guess he would also be homegrown. Anyway, Yeah, what a talent, Elise. So let's talk about United. United in what had to be the biggest upset of the weekend. No, that would have been Fulham beating Arsenal, but this is pretty big. Like Nottingham Forest beating Man United 2-1. And this is just Man United this season is just the gift that keeps on giving. It was almost better that there was hope. Like Rashford tied it up only for
not only that, like did you see like when Højlund scored to put them ahead in the last game, and I forget who it was against. Like they acted like they were winning the fucking Premier League because
Højlund scored? I missed it.
Yeah, I think that was the game before. You can check me on that, but he had the game winner, I think, and it would have been his first goal too, right? So, I mean, they were like unhinged. Like it was obnoxious to watch, and I was like, I can't wait for these guys to go out and take another L because they're such.
You're right. Yeah, that was against
shots.
Villa. A big. That was a big result for them against Villa. I forgot about this game.
But you knew there was going to be a letdown coming. I thought they would at least take a little bit of that momentum into this game. And nope, they shocked even me. Their own fans probably aren't as shocked as I am.
They look listless. They look
just
so
gave it
bad.
Right back.
Yeah.
And on a serious note, like. Can somebody talk to Garnacho about his goddamn haircut? Because who the hell is putting I haven't seen a mushroom cut anywhere else in the last decade.
I'll text him. We'll sort it out for you.
I mean, I know you're active with the Man United fans on Twitter.
Oh
so
yeah.
You can enlist them to help us get to the bottom of this. I don't.
Yeah,
he probably have a thread on his barber.
Some of that stuff I just chalk up to I don't like different parts of like styles.
Europeans are weird.
Different. Yeah. Well, he's from Argentina, right? So South America. I think he's. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, I agree. It's, but Cole Palmer's hair is.
But the Cole Palmer doesn't take the next step of can you throw some highlights on my mushroom cut? Like Cole Palmer looks like he's in high school, which he basically is a high school age kid, right? So it's like, okay, well, fine. He just doesn't know any better, but
yeah. Gibbs White scored a fucking cracker of a goal. The second goal that was great. Man, I'm trying to think what my goal of did you see that shot that Trent took? Today?
Yeah.
Dude, if that went in, I don't care about Liverpool. In fact, I dislike Liverpool as a Chelsea fan. I would have taken a lap. If that went in, I would have gone for a jog.
It was so nonchalant too. And he was the announcers picked up on it. Like he was frustrated with the cross. He was cross prior to that, I think, and was just okay, I'm just gonna take a shot here, and then kind of shrugged it off. But I mean, that's what we saw when he was in his prime. He could score from anywhere. He just has this crazy kicking ability.
He's having a good season, man. After being a scapegoat for a whole season.
Yeah, defensively, this was a better game for him too. So and maybe that's where they saw him.
Yeah, they figured out how to free him up, and he's dude, he looks good this season. If that had gone in, man, that would have been that just would have been one of the craziest goals I've ever seen. Yeah, hit the framework. Yeah, I mean, maybe we'll see a redemption arc like that for Antony.
I was about to say, I feel pretty good about Chelsea's chances of passing United when I look at the right side and see Wan-Bissaka and Antony out there. I mean, holy shit! And fine, Wan-Bissaka, whatever's been underperforming. Antony is complete garbage. I cannot believe Eric Ten Hag still has a fucking job. This guy, there's only so much you can put on the players when you're the guy putting the same idiots out there. And he's the one who put this team together, right? To an extent, right? At least he puts Rashford up there. Was Højlund an unused sub in this game?
No, he was sick. He was sick.
Okay,
yeah,
which hurts them. And Rashford seemed like he was in the doghouse for a bit, but for me, like he's a lot better on the
that had to be his first goal in a minute,
right? And that's one of the people that they talk about having. And when you watch it, I think you see it like one of the best pure strikers of the ball in front of goal. And to have him go that long is just. But it's not like you're getting service from the right side. So
there was some. I think I told you about this, but there was an article that came out that I'm sure so Man United has now reached the phase where like everyone is like pointing fingers at everyone else, like the state of the club. They also they had that a quarter of the club was acquired by that I forget the guy's name, some British billionaire.
When they
guy.
start pointing fingers, does Anthony just go, no, I was cleared of all charges?
yeah exactly. But this story came out it leaked from the Man United scouting department that basically was we came to a consensus that Antony's value was about 25 million euros, and Ten Hag demanded the club go out and sign him, and they ended up paying 90.
You sure about that?
90 for him.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
Sure?
Yep.
Yeah. They're not sure about that. So I think that Ten Hag's days are numbered. They have to be.
We've been saying that though. We keep saying that about Antony too, and he keeps playing him too. So maybe the two go hand in hand. I don't know.
Yeah, but I think they were waiting for that takeover to happen, or the buyout of a quarter of the club to occur. I think that's also going to allow them to raise capital. I don't know.
Was that the Daniel Radcliffe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that went through a week and a half ago, something like that. So I think that now that that's over, Radcliffe is going to want to make his mark, and this is just low hanging fruit at this point. Get Ten Hag the fuck out of here. Don't. Unless you're going to bring back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and then I'm all for it. But anyway, I think that his days are numbered, because they were trying to work out whatever takeover or whatever was going to happen, and now it's done. And I don't know, they could be active in the transfer market, because I think I don't know exactly how all of this happens, but that takeover probably goes on the books in some way. It also increases the value of the club, because whatever they bought those shares at will inflate the overall value of the club. So that'll help them secure loans, justify further leveraging the asset type thing. So it is important for United that takeover happened. But man, this squad is just built they're playing a system. They just bought where does Mason Mount fit in this team? They don't even there's nowhere for him to go if he was healthy. He might be healthy right now and is just not being played. This is just this team has just been so thoughtlessly assembled. And
it's he comes back and Casemiro comes back, and it solves nothing. For them, right? And it seems like this is a team that's ripe for 3 or 4 outgoings and 3 or 4 incomings.
They need a rebuild, and they've spent Chelsea has spent money. Man United has violated financial fair play. They have spent up to their eyeballs on this club and this squad. They have a violation that they were fined for. Chelsea has not yet had that. Just to put all of that in perspective, and they need a fucking rebuild. Their goalie can't play
gonna have to
goalie.
Find a Saudi benefactor quick.
Garnacho's their best player, in my opinion.
he had a really
him or
shitty game.
Fernandez. Fernandez has a good game here and there. Rashford, like those are pieces you can build around, but like a lot of the team is old or useless.
Or sometimes both.
Yeah. Sometimes both. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I just love it. I hope they make no moves. I hope they keep rolling with Ten Hag, and I hope they keep starting, a similar 11.
Yeah.
But that's wishful thinking.
Yeah, I mean they are like they subbed on Reguilon, who's on loan from Tottenham. Could you imagine playing a Tottenham reject on your team?
Yeah. Well, that's when you frame it that way. Yeah, it really lends some perspective.
It's unimaginable
to how dire the situation is.
Where was
What the fuck?
Where was Shaw? Is he hurt again? Because that's
I'd make a joke about him eating on the sideline, but he must be hurt because he was getting a lot of minutes.
Yeah, he was getting a lot of minutes. I don't know. Yeah, so like Reguilon they brought in on loan because they couldn't afford. They were like right up against the FFP. Like remember they wanted to bring in Cucurella, but then we tournament locked him. And so then they went and got Reguilon because Luke Shaw went down with an injury. And in both cases, they couldn't afford a transfer fee. So it had to be a loan with an option to terminate at the midway point of the season because they couldn't even afford a full season loan. Yeah. Was like nobody knows that for sure. But like the moves they were making were like strongly indicative that was the position they were in, right? And so they went out and got a Tottenham reject. Yeah, I don't know. This is a club that is on the ropes. I really do think that. And there's nowhere for them to go. Like I think they're in for some pain. I could be wrong.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like we're beating them to death, but then like they go out and get a result like this, and it's like, nope, this is just it's going to keep going. Yeah, until somebody interjects.
There's no philosophy. The coach is like he doesn't have it. They have really expensive assets that aren't even allowed to practice. Like Sancho, they bought for like 100 million euros or somewhere in that orbit. Let's call it 75. Yeah. And excuse me, he doesn't practice with the first team. Like they've just spent and spent and spent and nothing. Like they're all bought. Like they've had this like rotating door of managers that have brought in a couple players. Like it's honestly very Chelsea like pre Todd Bowley Chelsea, like the cracks we were starting to see show at the end there. Like Man United hasn't gotten to wipe the slate clean like Chelsea. They didn't have their debt cleared and like through all that. So like those were positives of what like the books got cleared. Like Abramovich forgave the debt. That has also been why Chelsea have been able to go on the shopping spree. And now Chelsea have like a collection of really like they're all going to sell on for fees that will likely make the club money. But they went out and bought a bunch of young players. And yeah, Chelsea sucks now, but like the squad is assembled in such a way that they're all young and they're all developing. And like the odds of Chelsea coming good in the next 3 years, to my mind, are so much higher than like Man United, who have like an aging squad of players that were assembled for different systems over the last like 5 years.
Yeah.
And now they have a coach who like has lost the team. Like
what's interesting that just clicked for me, right, is Alanga plays in this game and gets an assist against them while he's on loan from United, right? And I mean, I guess at this point, like he's one of the few pieces you could sell, right? I've got to imagine they'd have to try and turn him profitable and sell him to Forest permanently, right? Or
or someone,
or take him. I mean, I guess he can play he's played on the left or the right, but he's got a lot more value than Antony does. And so if you're trying to dig yourself out of that hole, like, what else are you going to do?
Well, Antony, they're upside down on, right? That would do basically nothing for their
That's
books.
what I mean,
because
right?
I think
like you've got to like basically keep Antony and sell Alonga at this point, otherwise, because you literally can't do anything else financially.
Yeah, because I think that like the way it amortizes, if you sell the player on, then the total transfer fee hits your books instantly. And so they'd be upside down on that. And that would
loss. Yeah.
Yeah. And so like they can't sell him. They can't sell the corpse of Eriksen or Varane or Casemiro for anything meaningful, right? Like,
No.
I don't know. Yeah. Well, anyway, I think that rounds it out for the week. We end with another beating of Man United, and the beatings will continue.
On a positive note, Pulisic game winner for AC Milan this week.
Oh, I missed that. Why didn't you chime in when I was saying, like, singing Jedi praise and saying Pulisic might be back from his hamstring injury?
I thought you said. Well, I thought what you said about you mentioned me bringing up Pulisic as a. Yeah. Compared to Robinson, yeah, and I think that was fresh in my mind. Maybe was that winner when I brought that up earlier in the week via text. But yeah, I mean, he's had a great campaign, and it seems like he's weathered whatever that hamstring injury, which obviously was very worrisome. But for us as US fans and to that team because of the criticality, and I think they're on a 3-game winning streak at least. It doesn't look like they're going to catch Inter, but at least they're playing more consistently. That team still, to me, I saw one of the pundits was talking about how like they brought in all these transfers and like Musa, and he cited like Musa and Pulisic, and like I think they're part of the solution, not part of the problem. But like that team doesn't have a great system. It seems like sometimes there's just kind of like people running all over the place, and Theo Hernandez is playing 10 different positions other than his own.
Yeah,
but yeah. Anyway, it's good to see him continuing to play well, and Musa has also played a lot of critical minutes for them, even if they're not necessarily looking like they're in contention for the top. I should say the champions of the league at this point.
Yeah, they're in third. They're 9 points. 9 points behind Inter.
That was 9, right? Yeah. So when they're not light years behind, it just, I don't know. Maybe they're turning a corner here. They just haven't looked at the part either. Today.
Yeah, dude. If you look at this table versus the PL. Like just as an example, like the PL is so competitive, it's crazy. Have you seen what's going on in La Liga? I think like I think the top team. Okay, they're second now. Girona, however you say that.
Yeah,
it's like the team that City bought is now like competing for first place in La Liga. So that's scary.
Yeah. I wonder
City's
if they
new toy.
Compete for third in a real league. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's good for them.
Yeah, did you see Chelsea is looking to buy at least an interest in Sporting in Portugal?
I saw you posted that in there. I hadn't been following that too closely. That'd be an interesting one.
Yeah, I'm excited for just every club to be held by like a handful of billionaires. It'll be cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess maybe we should talk about that. That's a good segue into next week. We should probably talk about the latest iteration of discussions around the so-called Super League and what that means for things.
Yeah, we haven't really covered that. But yeah, we're at like an hour and 20 minutes. So yeah, we'll table that for next week. Thanks for tuning in. If like and subscribe, wherever you are listening or watching this. I mentioned earlier we have cameras now. I'm going to talk through the logistics of that with these guys and get that going. Maybe we'll get a glimpse into what sounds like the absolute madhouse that is Luke's like home life or whatever office he's in. And then we got you some hardware soundboards, so there will be a lot more of that. Yeah. And then we'll be active on social media. We have a Discord that we talk mostly EPL, but also like American football and some other things there. And all that's in the show notes. Derek, you got anything else?
Nope, that's it. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year, guys. We'll catch you next week.
Thanks for tuning in to the Football Yanks podcast. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. We'll see you next time.